So today guys, we're going to be explaining a story from a video game. A story begins in 2011. Your character is a person fresh from military selection. So in your first level, you go to military training course. You do it, and then you guys read a ship. And it is successful. You find out that your informant has been captured. And you have to go rescue him. That is also successful. You play as a president for a level that's executed at the end. Then you rescue the informant. Then after that you're player for a level as a US Marine who is invading a country. To look for their secondary main villain, you look around the town, but he's not there. And in the TV station it was a trip. So after you rescue your informant, you guys get away. And a helicopter, but the helicopter crashes and you have to escape on foot. You get to another helicopter waits you, informant on escape. You is the US soldier where his friends you read a city. And fix an army tank and fight your way out of the city and go to the capital city. You die at the end to a nuclear bomb. You and your scribe to go to an area. And you find a secondary villain and you kill him, and then you get a phone call from his master. Your captain remembers an mission he did from years ago, from 15 years ago. 15 years prior you're in Pripyat, Chernobyl. You're playing as the captain as when he was young, where his lead you and him go through Pripyat and assassinate attempt the main villain, but a failed. Back to present day. The main villain threatens the US forces on UK forces to leave Russia, and they don't. Nuclear missiles are launched to America. But you stop them in time. You see the main villain leaving, and you chase him down in cars. You chase the main villain down, and you steal a chest with him. And then you get to the bridge that is blown up by a helicopter. You and the captain and the group get off the bridge. But it is too late, as the bridge blowers you are knocked out. And you see one of the surviving US Marines that survived the new club bomb shooting away. He dies, and then the main villain comes towards you. The captain slides you his gun and kill the main villain, and your captain is presumed to dead. And a few of the squad mate actually die in the end by the main villain, but you and him running could be disturbing so far some viewers. So I say, if you don't want to see this nuclear bomb go off, I say leave and go to another video at your discretion. Do not worry, this story didn't happen in real life. All happened in a video game. It will never happen in real life. So our story begins again. It's been 5 years. It is 2016, last time back in 2011 at the end of the first story. The captain passed his gun to the main person of the story, who shot the main villain of the story. So sometime in 2014 or 2015, a group was formed to take down, to assassinate bad men. You were under the lead of your general, but your captain from the beginning of the first story is dead. Their tank, little do they know he's alive and being held in the gulag for the past 3 years. You main character now is a US Marine who saw in people in India how to do training and helping them, ensuring them how to fire a gun. You do the training course, but the base you're in gets raided. You go to the enemy's hideout area town and you fight them, the general that made the top secret group. And the main character is selected for a top secret mission where you join the main villain in this story is gang. You are now a United Kingdom Marine. And you are also with the main character from part 1. You and him red and sneak into an enemy facility and get a down satellite module information. But it failed. You get away and escape on helicopter. You are now playing as the US Marine that doesn't attack on the airport with the main villain in his gang. You guys attack the airport and you get away, but he betrays you and killed you. God find the body and getting an invasion for the US ready. You as the United Kingdom top secret Marine in the squad. And the main character from part 1 got Brazil and get rid of a rebellion in a town. There are a parallel military group. And you get information from the general that helped to get the weapons for the attacker, the airport. Your second main character is now another US Marine. You and the group that were previously in the town are now in America. You hear by radar along the coast. And Marines that America has been invaded. Your general of the top secret group finds. You are now playing as the United Kingdom Marine again. And you guys are still in Brazil in the town. You guys try to leave but fail the first time. You guys managed to leave again by helicopter. You barely managed to escape. You are playing as the US Marine again. In a few levels you go and counter it, attack the invasion and winter battles. You even win the battles. You are playing as United Kingdom Marine again. And you are going to break into a prison in a gulag to rescue a prisoner. You take areas of platforms out in the ocean first. You guys get into the gulag. As the Navy are bombarding it with shells by the general, he orders them to stop. And you guys rescue the prisoner, and it's the captain from part 1. The main character from the first game is happy he's still alive, and kind of shocked you guys escape, and the captain, and your captain from part 1, goes to a summer invest with you guys, and you ignore your general's orders. And you captain launches a missile to the US to help them win the battle DC. You are playing as the US Marine during the Battle of DC. Your inner helicopter that crashes, you are stuck in a. But you're okay, you're finally at the enemies. And then the nuclear missile explode, open the air, you manage to escape the helicopter, and you guys survive the bomb. You are playing as United Kingdom Marine. And his friend, you guys go to a safe house to get information on the main villain in the story. Your general betrays you and killed the main character on your friend. You are now playing as the character from part 1. You and the captain find out about your general's portrayal. You ask the main villain in the plane yard graveyard on the radio to give you his coordinates out in the desert. He does, and teams up with you temporarily. You and the captain from part 1 go hunt down your general. You find him, you have a chase on bot to him down a river. He gets into a helicopter, but the captain shoot it down. You guys go down the waterfall, you nearly drowned, but make it back onto land, you don't know where. Your captain is you chased. You crashed helicopter and the 2 pilots. You find the general resting file, you chase after him, you try to stubborn with your knife. But he stabs you instead. He tells you about how he lost 30,000 men to a new club bomb 5 years prior. He tries to shoot you, but your captain shows about nowhere. And then as your general uncaptain fight you do with the knife that the general stabbed you with, you pull the knife out your chest. And you taught towards the general, hit them in the face, killing him. Warning, this video was also from the same video game series. And the second sequel, the violence in this was violent, but it did not happen in real life. So do not worry. The violence was done on fictional characters. Now enjoy the background gameplay. The helicopter pilot that helped you escape from the town in Brazil is actually the informant from part 1. Our story of part 3 begins. After you kill your general, your character you're playing as the man character. From part 1, you and your captain are rescued by the environment from part 1. You are brought to a warehouse in India with your captain and recover. You now play as another US Marine who are taking power in the Battle of New York. You guys go underwater by somewhere. And you guys getting put mines on the summer rain and launch missiles that the submarine fleet. The main character from part 1, the captain, and the group are now international criminals. Their general has become a hero in America. The enemy inversion of America failed things are peaceful for a few weeks. You are now playing as another United Kingdom soldier. You and the main character from the first game and the captain go to Africa. You see the cargo you're looking for is gone, and you see a helicopter taking it away. It goes up through France and into England. The French government tell the English government. You are playing as the UK group special group in England. You are told to go look for the cargo freight. You look in a truck and see it's not there. You see then and find out that it is somewhere else, but it's a trick, and instead a gas attack happens in London. The main villain from part 2 is responsible for these attacks, gas attacks happening across Europe. You find out that he's responsible for it. After the gas attacks, you play again as the US Marine. And you go to Handbug, you go to rescue the Vice President of America. It was also the enemy could have a ground invasion across Europe. The gas attacks, you go to the person our Lord in Africa doesn't charge of a country. You convince him to tell you who am got him the gas, and who did he give it to? He tells you he got it to the main villain. And he governed to someone else, your captain killed him. You guys go to assassinate the main villain. The main character from part 1 tells the captain to get out the area where he's at it explored. The main villain talks to you on the radio. The part where you were explored, but the character from part 1, the main character pushes you out. First, you skyscraper with the main character from part 1. He gets crushed by debris and survived you too, and your god to safety. And you go to a warehouse near the area the captain freaks out. He tries to help the main character from part 1 to recover, but sadly the main character from part 1 dies. And also drawing the assassination attempt before the area. He tells them that he was exploded. The main villain tried to assassinate the main villain. The captain is furious about desert. The main villain drove him away to safety. How did you walk with him? He also told him that he was still. He tries to kill you. And the main villain from part 2 was governed the order to detonate the nuclear bomb. He watched him. The main villain and him were there 2 witnesses. But he didn't want to do it, so the main villain from part 2 turned around and tried to kill him. And left them in the basement for dead. But you tried to stop the attack in the airport and pass out. You sneak into an enemy base and find the main villain from part 2. His location. You play as the captain in the final level. You make your way up to the top of the hotel. Where he's at, you see the main villain getting away in a helicopter. You jump into the helicopter and knock out the pilots. The character you played as the United Kingdom character soldier you played as dies. You as the captain managed to kill the main villain once. And for all from part 2 you finally killed the villain from part 2. You smash to the ceiling roof with him that's metal a glass. And you have them hunger by the neck rope. Beaches missing from the story of drawing a mission. You play as a person protecting the enemy present and going to meet peace talks when they are. But the plan crashes. And you see the main villain behind the door in a helicopter when you try to get away, kidnaps the president's daughter. And also you go to a diamond mine. As the US forces with the criminal give up that you played as at the beginning of our tree. You guys rescue the president's daughter. But the US forces have to stay behind and sacrifice themselves. Remember, this all happened in the video game too. It did never happen in real life. These were all fictional characters. It was from a video game series.